Hello, everyone. It's not going to be just me. A stray cat got into Lucy's house, so she's running a little bit late, but that's okay. You know, these things they happen sometimes. Just weird shit happens. Weird shit weird shit happens to Lucy and I a lot. Um, these things, it's a Sunday night. What are we gonna do? What are you gonna do on a Sunday night when a random stray cat wanders into your house right when you're about to go on a live stream? You know, these are the questions Lucy is currently asking herself while she makes her way here. Did I even put on? I didn't even check my settings. Yeah, okay, everything's right. Everything's right settings. I'm here for a coloring stream. We're gonna color. We're gonna color and talk about a show. The show that this coloring page is from. If you want to Mike, you can. The first step to overcoming addiction is to admit to yourself that you have a problem. And it's okay. We all have problems. Look at all my pencil crayons. This is a problem. If you're wondering, the box size for context, it's the 17 light stick box. So that's what's okay. Now that's all one at a, come on. Okay. Focus. There we go. My camera likes to just play these little games. So Mike, if you missed it, Lucy is coming to this stream. A cat got into her house that isn't her cat. So she had to go catch the cat. So she's running a little bit late, but it's okay because we love of course. We love these sorts of fun little shenanigans that happen because Lucy and we're not real people. We're sort of like chaotic gremlins that were granted human form and bizarre things happen to us. But that just means that there's more time for everyone who wants to go and download the PDF of this coloring page that I lovingly drew for all of us. Yes, this was I didn't draw the flowers. I drew the people. This pattern thing, it's just a pattern I have. So that we can color along. You can use crayons, you can use markers, you can download a PDF and open it in Procreate or Photoshop. You can use watercolor, whatever you want. We're going to have a good time. And we're going to talk about boys smooching. What's not to love about that? And not only will we be talking about boys smooching, since we're talking about wedding plan tonight, we're going to be talking about women smooching too. Everyone's smooching. All right? Everyone gets a good old smooch in wedding plan. So, hopefully you've either seen it or don't care if we talk spoilers about the show, because that is on the plan for this evening. Yeah. The lesbians were lesbianing in this show, okay? That's so rare. We were so excited. So once Lucy, we're just gonna here she be. All right. Hello. Lucy. You made it. You made it.
I know the cat knock over my setup, so it's good.
Listen, if it wasn't us being chaotic and what would we even do? We gotta move you around a little. We had this whole plan. We were oh, we're gonna get on early and it's gonna be great. We're gonna get on so early and have everything set up perfectly, and we're gonna have a perfect stream with absolutely no problems. He. And then a cat got into Lucy's house.
It was how? Well, I know how.
But did it just like wander it? Like I feel like we need more details about this cat. Did it just like did you like open the door and the cat just came in? Like what
No,
happened?
I have a cat flat, right? But
Oh.
but like one cat was upstairs and I knew that it was asleep on the bed, and then the other one was literally pretty much on my lap. And I just heard the cat flap go, and I was like, maybe the other one like went out without me realizing. And I just looked in, and this cat that wasn't mine was just there.
You're like, excuse me, ma'am. What are we doing here? Why are you in my house?
It's like, you don't even go here.
It's fine. So what, Lucy, tonight, what are you using to color? Are you pencil crayoning, markering? What do we got?
Pencil crayoning.
Oh, fellow pencil crayoner. Yes.
I don't trust myself with markers.
Me either. It's not that I don't trust myself with markers. I'm really bad at markers. Like, I mess up so much when I try to color with markers.
Yeah, I don't understand how people can do it.
It's like wizardry, frankly. I don't understand it, and I don't care to understand it. So let's just get coloring and let's start talking about the show, I guess. I watched it when it was airing, so I watched it weekly. And then you watched it because I was like, hey, do you want to do this show where we watch it?
Me just moving things around.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Where we watch a drama and then talk about it.
She sells it to me based on.
Yeah. So I think the way I sold it was I said, hey, what if there was a BL that had lesbians in it? But it was still at its heart a classic BL. But there was a lesbian and a gay guy who are best friends. And their parents are a little homophobic, so they hatch the most dastardly plan. A classic plan shared by, I'm sure, many a lesbian gay pairing throughout the homophobic ages. Which is, what if we got fake married and then we could just like live in a duplex, all right? And each have our own actual lovers, but like no one will be all the wiser.
The most genius of plans.
Most genius of plans. This will never go wrong. No one will ever suspect what we're doing. But then, oh no.
I found the love of my life.
Oh no, the wedding
stuffing
planner.
His face at the buffet.
stuffing his face at my business colleague's gay wedding. So for anyone who's like here, like just here doesn't really care about the show at all and just wants to like hang out and chat, welcome. It is technically like it's not a sequel to the series Love in the Air.
It's the shared universe of.
Yeah, it's a spin-off at best with characters that never appeared in the original Love in the Air storyline. Like I never actually, and it's okay. So in Love in the Air, I just gotta talk about Love in the Air for a second. So in Love in the Air, what I sort of loved about it is the first one you have like Rain and Payu, right? And you very much know what Payu's job is, right?
Yeah.
He's an architect who also, his family owns a, like car mechanic shop, okay? And so he's an architect mechanic. But then you got into the second half with Sky and Pi. What the fuck did Sky do for work? He was just business. He did business. He
was just a business gay.
Yeah, he was just a chaotic business bisexual. All right. Like all he did was business. And so this sort of has a similar vibe where like you know what Namnua's job is because he's a wedding planner. But what the fuck was Silam's job? He did business. Okay. Which is like my favorite type of job. It's like he worked at a company that did business something. What was the business? I don't know. And so he's planning this lovely wedding for him and his lesbian bestie. But they're the most, when I tell you, they are the most infuriating couple. Like, they're not a real couple, obviously. But like for this poor wedding planner, my man's was stressed about 90% of the show.
He was sweating.
Like, because anytime he'd be like, okay, so like, do we have a color scheme? They'd be like, oh, whatever. So like, oh, and she'd be like, oh, whatever Silam wants. And Silam would be like, oh, whatever you will want. And it's just like, no. Just, if you're going to have this like successful fake marriage caper, all right, you need to be on the same page and have a solid plan. Okay? We can't be like a small child version. That's right. He did business. So like I assume so he seems so like okay, so Silam, you first you don't first meet him, but you find out where he first sees the love of his life, which is at Sky and Pie's gay wedding, where he attends because he also like Pie is involved in business. All right, he's a very successful.
He's very successful business.
And very successful at business. But the business, which leaves him plenty of time to go wakeboarding, to work out, to like hatch this lovely gay marriage plot, to be the main planner of his lavender wedding. And then, you know what? It was kind of rude. I'm going to say it because he fucking liked this guy. I would have been so upfront about this, what was going on at this wedding if I was trying to seduce the wedding planner. You know what I mean? Like, the wedding planner might not believe you. Like, he might be like, oh, you're full of shit. But, like...
He felt like he couldn't disclose it, though. I get in a way, but...
They might have gone to grad school in the UK. I don't remember the details. They both do business. All right? They went to grad school for business.
You know, like girl math. It's like boy business.
Boy business. But like seriously, if I was Silam, okay, and I was like this twink here, this wedding planner, he is the love of my fucking life, and I just want to seduce the shit out of him. The first thing I would say is like, here, real talk. This is my lesbian best friend, and we have homophobic parents. Like, this is all just a scheme. Like, we're getting adjoining apartments, and her girlfriend already lives there. Like, I would not be letting this poor man sweat on a daily basis.
He loved making him sweat first.
Oh, I was like, this is fucking cruel, my guy. We can't be doing this. We can't be doing this. This poor man's heart's gonna give out. Like, good lord. Was that it? I don't know if it was someone else. There's a lot of BL shows, okay, that have like characters going to grad school in the UK. I don't know why it's always the UK or like France. In Korea, it's always they're going to America. In Thailand, it's always they're going to Europe. I don't know what they're doing over there. I'm sure, it's just rich people doing rich people things. But my God, was my man stressed this whole friggin' BL. But you know what I liked about? Okay, so I'm well known here. People who know me know I am not one to shy away from criticizing the MAME cinematic universe. I like to give credit where credit is due, but sometimes that woman, she likes to be a little too taboo for old Natalia. You know what I mean? Like,
just a little.
Frankie, welcome, Frankie. Coming to hang out and listen to us talk about boys and girls smooching each other. And like a lot of the times, like I'm looking at you, Love by Chance in one specific plot of Love by Chance, and just the entirety of Tharn Type, I guess. She really she's romanticizing things that, frankly, are actual criminal acts. And I'm like, listen, if this was like a consensual like play scene, that's one thing, but like, my God, don't try to tell me that sleeping with a drunk person who can't consent is somehow going to lead to romance. Because that's fucked up shit. All right? That's a crime.
Yeah.
It's not. But I feel like, and this is, I like giving credit and for, people having some growth, because I feel like it's important for people to take criticisms and grow as people, especially creators. I feel like maybe someone's giving her a talking to recently, because each one of her shows gets progressively further away from that. Hopefully, I mean, listen, she could regress at any moment. We don't know.
Because when I tell you, I lamented when I saw Love in the Air was when that main credit came up. I was like,
oh no. But I gotta say, this is a little bit of a spoilery trigger warning for Love in the Air. While it does have a sexual assault plot, it's not by one of the people you're supposed to like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not framed as good either.
Yeah, it's framed as the horrific crime that it is, and how it has ruined someone's life, right? And so I was like, so it's like we had, Love by Chance, which was good up until that last episode where they were like, oh, by the way.
No.
By the way, this guy's just a little rapist. And I'm like, really? We're doing this? And then we had Tharn Type, which, listen.
The whole show.
I don't think we need to, speak more on that than necessary. But then we had Don't Say No, which still had it, but then for the first time wasn't by someone that you're then supposed to, like, root for. It was by, like, a creepy dude who looked about 15 years older than everyone else in this college basketball tournament.
Which, surprisingly, for a show that's called Don't Say No.
Don't Say No. It had actually very good consent for the most part. Weirdly. I actually really like Don't Say No. I
rewatched it again recently. And
yeah, it's not bad. Like, it's pretty good. But then we get into Love in the Air, which was great about, okay, I gotta talk about Love in the Air. I know that we're supposed to be talking about Wedding Plan, but really we have to talk about the main cinematic universe for Wedding Plan.
It was always gonna come to it.
Yeah, for like Wedding Plan to make sense in context to the rest of it, right? But like, I feel like the first half of Love in the Air was like really misinterpreted by people probably too young to understand what was happening in it. Because I saw a lot of like really fun teenager takes. That's what I like to call them. And they're takes by people with no life experience, which is not their fault, because they're still teenagers and still learning. So where they were like, this is an abusive relationship. And I'm like, no. See, it's only an abusive relationship if everyone involved in it isn't okay with what's happening. And also, I think we're really stretching the bounds of what we're thinking abuse is right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, what happened is you had like without the, trappings of, harnesses and stuff, you had the makings of like a dom sub relationship here.
But it was very clear that there was like room for you can say no or yeah.
And when he does say no, the guy stops and is like, okay. And then like, so it was clearly that she was like flirting with the idea of like a dom and a bratty sub, which is, go off, I guess. Have fun. And then in the second half of the show, it was all like, nah, I'll never do anything to you that you don't like. Like, I won't go away. I'm kind of annoying, but like, I'm not gonna make you do something, you know. But then we get to wedding plan, which was just like, you know what? She took a break from all of these, you know, relationship bounds, and was like, instead of like talking about, you know, possible power imbalances, what if we just made one of them a fucking liar for most of the show?
Who likes water skiing a lot.
Yeah, who just really liked water skiing and working out shirtless. Like, what if we, and then the other one just really loves McDonald's. Like, what
God,
if,
when I tell you the first McDonald's scene took me out.
like, I wonder if like McDonald's in Thailand is like trying to pull a Subway, like that K-drama. Like, if this is the first of like a new McDonald's BL takeover, because I would actually find that to be delightfully funny. If we got something besides, you know, iced tea, it would be lovely.
It wasn't even like a quick sort of flirt or always just like happens to be. It was like a full on like.
It was a full on scene that integrated McDonald's as part of the plot of the entire show. It was like, no, he loves McDonald's. McDonald's is his favorite food. This is going to come back as a plot point later in the show.
But to be fair, he did love eating a lot of things as well, other than McDonald's.
I feel like it was just like he was a huge ass stress eater. And this guy just had him so stressed the whole show that he had no choice but to just stress eat his way into almost an early grave. Like he almost quit his job. He was so stressed.
He did sort of like
he went on leave. He was like, I can't deal with this fucking wedding.
Extended leave to his scary ass family.
To his family in the country. He was like, I can't, like, listen, I would rather deal with my wacky ass family in the country than have to deal with this wedding
that had
anymore.
Like his cousin's boyfriend doing hard labor.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like making your family's significant others do just horrible labor as a form of like hazing is just such a classic, right?
It's great.
Like, it's, you know, my mom used to do it, but actually my mom used to do was she loved it when I made friends with like big dudes, because she lived in the country. So if I had big like friends who were just like big beefy dudes, like all my jock friends, she was so excited because now she had people when they came over to do all the heavy labor for her. And like I have this one sister and she constantly has new boyfriends. When I tell you the shit my mom has gotten done at her house, unbelievable. Like the amount, like trees felled, like like large furniture moved, garages completely cleaned out. I'm like, damn, mom, like making one of my sister's romantic foibles work for you. And it's, you know, so it's a time-honored tradition.
Just imagining your mom like every time like there's a new partner coming.
She's like,
it's free real estate.
Yeah, it's free real estate. It's free. Is this free labor? Is this the meme with the pigeon, but it's like it's a boyfriend? Is this free labor? Anyway, getting back. I need to talk about lesbians for a second.
Yes. I was so happy about the lesbians, but
like okay, so I actually get from a creative standpoint, and you're gonna have to stay with me on this one, everyone, why there's not as many sexy lesbian shows. And the reason is toplessness. All right? Because with like sexy BL shows, you can have these dudes topless, writhing all over each other, and as long as you don't show peen, you're fine. You know? It's a lot more difficult to like have sexy lady scenes. Not that we don't want them, like the world does want them. There's clearly a desire. And the unfortunate part is every time that there's one that comes out, I get really excited and I start watching it and it's not good. And I'm just so bummed. Like, I wanted to like Gap so much.
I was talking from the standpoint of like the actress that was playing Yura was so in for those kisses, and then like,
oh yeah, she was ready to give her all to this role, and then I will say the actress playing Marine was very beautiful.
She was,
and it's not like she was bad at acting.
No, she was a great actress. She was just
clearly not a lesbian. Like, unfortunate. But we do love lesbians, all right? And we would like to see more lesbians. I will say, like, you know, and not just as like the friend character.
Yeah.
Like I did enjoy that they actually, like, the lesbians had an important and significant role and their own actual plot in this.
Yeah.
Like that
wasn't just like, oh, we happen to know a lesbian.
Yeah, it was like, no, the lesbians had their own storyline that was like integrated into the guy's storyline, but it was separate from the guy's storyline. So it was like they had their own shit going on. And that was great because usually it's just like they're there to sell the dude's story.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, they had their own shit going on because, you know, you know what I love though? It's like they got seen in a restaurant and then, you know, the mothers are like, oh, I saw your daughter. And it's like, but they weren't even doing anything in the restaurant that I wouldn't do with one of my platonic girlfriends.
But given how dramatic those women were,
it's like,
swear to God, like,
I saw your daughter dancing with the devil. No, it was like, I saw your daughter put her head on another woman's shoulder in a McDonald's. And you're like, okay, like, listen, we've all been there. We've all had a rough day at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? we don't have to pretend otherwise. But I really thought the show was well done. I thought it was too short, though. I wanted it to be longer.
Yeah, I wanted it to be longer. I binged it far too quickly.
And it's like, what I think my main issue with the show, like, I have actually no issues with the content of the show, which is very rare because I find, like, BL really likes to try to, you know, be a little too spicy sometimes in the taboo department. But
usually by keeping it a bit too in the family.
Yeah, looking at you, Kim Porsche. Listen, I suppose, you know, on like one hand, you know, this is going to be I'm about to say something terrible that I hope that nobody ever takes out of context. Like, I suppose, like, you can't have, you know, like the main issues of incest, which is fucked up kids from incest. Like, that's not a concern, I guess, but it's still fucked up.
Yeah.
Even if you're adopted, they were still cousins. And anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about here because they weren't cousins. They didn't know each other at all. What color are you? That'll work. But I found that, like,
excuse me, young lady.
That's not the cat that came in. Cat break.
Excuse me.
She's like, I will not be excused. I will not be excused. I think my main criticism of the show is that the ending was like, it needed like another episode. Like, they really rushed that ending.
It did
really quickly. And I was just like, I feel like we could have maybe drawn it out a little more, you know? Like, it was only 7 episodes. It could have been 8. 8's a nice round number.
And 8's quite frequent.
Yeah, 8's like a really common number for a show. Well, for one of these, you know, Thai shows. But like, not like an American show, but like
or a Chinese, like
oh my gosh, oh god, Chinese shows. Oy vey. But like I felt like it just really like summed up so quickly, and it was just like okay, like
it was
so
like and they all lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
The end.
I will admit I did enjoy the fake heartbreak plot where this very obviously gay man has to pretend that he's upset that his lesbian girlfriend ran off on him, and it's like he's got all the eye drops and he's splashing himself with vodka. Like it's like my god, but like same though. Like I feel like I'd be doing the same bullshit, but no, like it. But I would have loved like. Because see, what happened was, it's like they build up this plot where it's like, oh, they're homophobic moms. They've got homophobic moms. Their moms will never accept that they're gay. The very heartrending scene where he tells them about how he and her discovered that they were lesbian and gay and realized that they were fucked because their parents were so homophobic. But then it seems like the show forgot that the parents were homophobic. Like, after she runs off, like, his mom is like, well, I guess that's okay that you're gay now.
He's still here at least.
Like, and I'm just like, I'm not sure him getting, like, jilted at the altar because she's a lesbian would have really made the mom not homophobic. You know what I mean?
She was so codependent on her son, though. I think the thought of him maybe running away.
Yeah, she'd be like, you know what? You can be gay. You can be gay. Don't worry about it.
You can be gay. Just don't run off.
Just stay. Please, just stay. You can... I don't care. I don't care if you're gay. Just stay here. I beg of you. But, like, it just seemed so rushed that I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I did enjoy it. Like, now, Lucy, I have a question for you in terms of the show. Where, for you, does, like, in terms of the MAME cinematic universe?
Oh, God.
Oh, Ricky. Okay, well, listen, we got the spoilers. We got spoilers for you. Don't worry. The spoiler, the lesbians are still lesbians at the end and run away together. And the gay guys are gay and have sex. So yeah, that happens.
They're living in sin.
They're living in sin in his apartment. So where okay, Lucy, my question for you is in like the rankings of like the MAME cinematic universe, where do you put where does your ranking of Wedding Plan in the MAME cinematic universe for you? I know, Ricky. They had carnal relations. So what are we thinking? Like what's your like MAME cinematic universe tier ranking?
Well, it's not bottom, I can tell you that.
Yeah. See, it's actually kind of funny because there's like the actual rankings, like there's like the rankings of like me knowing like which shows are quality, like, and then there's the ones where it's like, but I still did enjoy it though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, yes, I know Tharn Type is trash. All right? I know it is. I know that's a show about bad people. But I don't know, there's something about it that I'm just like, this is highly entertaining, however.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like my meme that I always bring out. I love mess.
Yeah, like, so entertaining, but so...
It had the drama, but it was so, yeah.
But God, was it compelling. God,
like a train wreck.
Yeah, you couldn't look away. You were just like, oh, like okay. I know we're getting off track because we're talking about Tharn type now. And like Tharn type is, I don't know what it is. Like I can't ever escape. Yes.
You can't escape.
Yes, it's a crack addiction, all right? Tharn type is like, it's like, so the thing about Tharn type, and it's like, I'm really like exposing myself here. Just like, I'm having like, this is a judgment-free zone on this stream. Just so everyone in chat can also admit that they too enjoy Tharn type. It's fine. It's like the character of type was so unlikable and doesn't actually become more likable.
No. He just goes, oh, wait a minute, I actually might like a guy.
Yeah, the only thing is that he doesn't even stop being homophobic. Like, even after he is gay,
it's like
still awful.
It's such a thing of like that trope of I'm not gay, but except for this one person.
It's like, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. Like, what are we doing? Like, I just... So the show, like, kind of makes me lose my mind a little. Because, like... And, like, listen. Tharn is a tragic character if you look at him. Like, my man was a victim of grooming, and the entire show doesn't even like acknowledge that he was. Like, his family invites his, sexual assailant to fucking Christmas dinner. Like, huh? And
yeah,
that's true. That's true. A huge part was they did have really good chemistry, even though like it was just exposed. Well, like
yeah.
But like it was the Tharn type. I don't know. There's just something about it that really just makes me lose my mind a little. Because I'm like, I shouldn't like this. Like, because there's been other shows that have had similar plots that I genuinely didn't enjoy and couldn't really get into. And I'm speaking, of course, of History 4. Which
half
of the show was great. The other half of the show was a fucking war crime. Like, Jesus Christ. But then I feel like, and then we had Love by Chance. And listen, Love by Chance is not a good show, okay? I think we are all, like, far enough away from the Love by Chance era that we can all admit the show's kind of trash. Saint, a delight, as always, because he's Saint. But, like, terrible people, except for the main couple, who weren't terrible, but, like, acting mess. The show is just... special, but it holds a special place in my heart. And I do occasionally go back and I'm just like, I do enjoy this shit. But like, I feel like she's really like, since she started the own company, right? The stuff has been getting much more enticing to me as a watcher, because Don't Say No. I was like, all right. Don't say yes. This is actually what I'm into, except like, but I think about Don't Say No because I have a thing about everything. He's not gay. He's pretty homophobic, but then is in love with his gay boyfriend, whom he verbally assaults on a regular basis. Like,
and also continues to assault other gays.
Yeah, but and also like, okay, we're back on Tharn type. I thought I moved on, but we're back.
We can never leave.
Okay. Like, so the scene where, like, the dude who groomed his boyfriend when he was a, like, 13-year-old child and convinced him to have sex with him as, like, an 18-year-old. Creepy, all right? Like, shows up with a present for him. Why? Now, we're just on Tharn type now, because I can never read it. Why was Type's first impulse to punch Tharn in the face? They were just talking. Why is he coming out swinging on his own boyfriend? I have so many questions. I just, okay. Like, he verbally assaults his boyfriend almost the entire show. He physically assaults him. He destroys his stuff. He like never apologizes for anything. Like, his boyfriend at one point is like, listen, I'm good with anything. Just don't say that we're going to break up if you don't mean it. Then he does it like 5 more times. Ugh. Darn type. Anyway, I'm moving on now. But I'm sure someone in chat will bring me back because I swear
we can never move on.
We can never move on. And people, listen, I know, I see it's Katie and Nicole. They love listening to me get heated about bullshit that nobody cares about. So, yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Love by Chance is like Love by Chance, and it's like boring. Like, a lot of it is really dull and goes nowhere. Like, it's such a meandering, dull series with such like a nothing burger of an ending. And then Saint was like, I'm out because, like, God bless him. God bless him. He's like, oh, you want me to be in a ship? Nah, I don't get paid for that. Like, I'm just go do a new thing. And that's you know what? I appreciate that he's saying no to like fake couples. He's like, I'm not feeding into this delusion. Yeah. And I'm just gonna move on with life. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you, buddy. Good for you. You should do what makes you happy. But then they made Love by Chance 2. Don't, like, if you haven't watched it, don't. It's fine. You don't need to. Just like fucking go about your day and just save yourself the time. It was. Don't worry about it. We can do better. All right, we can do better. You know what? Okay, I'm back on Thorn type. Okay, okay. I keep thinking I'm about to leave, but then Nicole keeps pulling me back. Listen, why was he? Why did Thorn like type? Is he just a masochist?
Maybe like, he is.
Maybe, because like this guy was nothing but a dickhole to him. Even after they got together.
Like, from day one as well.
From day one. Like, as soon as, like, it wasn't even as soon as, like, because he's, like, a homophobe, right? So it wasn't even as soon as, like, Tharn told him he was gay. It was as soon as someone else told him Tharn was gay. Like, he didn't even bother to, like, ascertain the facts. He was just like, someone told me that you was gay, so now I fucking hate you, and I'm gonna do hate crimes to you for like the next 4 episodes. Love by Chance, yeah, because we all know how much chemistry the actors playing Tin and Can were. Ooh, that was just the fucking electric chemistry rocking off of those Natalia. I'm gonna get canceled for this. Just the absolute and those kisses, just so romantic and not at all.
You're getting cancelled now by the entire community.
Yeah, not at all the worst things you've ever seen put to film with the least amount of sexual tension ever conceived. Okay, moving on. So then she starts her own company, right? Where the Love by Chance is over. She starts her own company. She makes Thorn type, and everyone loves it because. Well, let's be honest. Because of Mew.
All
right.
Just that.
So then she's like, oh shit, I've got like something going. So I'm gonna make Thorn type 2. Which was fine. You know? He's like a white middle-aged woman fight. White ladies and wild animals. It's true. You know what?
It's so true.
It's so fucking true. It's so true.
Like, I can fix him.
I can fix him. No, you can't. He needs professional help. Like, there were people fucking, well, okay, obviously we don't want him to end up with the other guy who was in love with him, because that guy was an actual criminal. But yes, Muse Armvain did.
Ricky knows.
Yeah, Ricky knows what's up. Okay, like, listen, we can all admit this to ourselves, that they often do a lot of heavy lifting. So then they made Star Trek 2, which then introduced us to just a piece of shit character who was like, I'm going to ruin this long-term relationship for no fucking reason. And then they were like, what if we gave that guy a show? Which, genius move, okay? Because it's like, he spends, you know, like, I don't even remember what, Leo, right? It was Leo, Fiat. So Fiat spends the entirety of Star Type 2 just being the worst possible person you've ever seen in your life.
Atrocious.
Just absolutely shit heap. And then they have like a 5-minute redemption right at the end. Where it was like...
It was so random.
Where they were like, oh, by the way, he only did this because he actually loves Leo. For some reason, this makes sense to us. This makes sense to us as people, okay? Yep, because that's what you do, okay? You become a fuckboy if you just are in love with your best friend who's also in love with you and at any moment would be willing to throw his entire life away for you. You know what'll really get him revving? Sleeping around and trying to ruin relationships with inappropriately older men. Sure. All right. Whatever. So then that leads to Don't Say No, which for some reason took that character and made him likable. And and to be honest, I think that was like a real feat of some sort. Like, yeah. I'm still to this day, I'm just like,
I don't understand. My brain still doesn't.
My brain doesn't understand it, because I was just like, this piece of shit. Like, all through Star Type Season 2, which, like, it was fine, okay? Like, Star Type Season 2, it's fine. You know, like, whatever. Star Type Season 1 is a bit more zoom to it, but, so I'm like, okay, yeah, so he's made, you know, we've redeemed them. Then we make him a tragic character for some reason. And we all just ate it up. Yeah, Leo gave two shits about him. Leo was a great character throughout the whole thing. He was just like, you know, this sad put upon man who's just like, please just look at me. Please. And then, you know what I really loved about Don't Say No? What I loved about it was like how awkward it is. How it was like, it was very clear about how awkward it is for two people.
Blissfully awkward.
It was so awkward for two people to like be in love and then awkwardly trying to take the step to like an intimate relationship.
It's like they already knew each other as well for a long time.
Yeah, especially. and then it's like that awkward, like, and I really enjoyed like their inner monologues where you know, Leo would be like, damn, like I really want to like get all up in that, but I don't want him to think that I'm just after him for his body.
Just like all those other,
yeah, like all those other dudes. Like I do want his body, yes, but I want other things too. Like
the friends were such shits.
Yeah, they were just little assholes. And then Fiat's like, okay, so I know like I was like a huge fuckboy and slept around with like anything that gave me, you know, this time of day. But I don't want him to think that I'm some sort of like, you know, sexual deviant. Like, I don't want him to think that I'm just like a sex addict. So I can't tell him that I want to go to Bone Town, right? But like both of them just want to go to Bone Town so bad.
So
like they're all like gripping their tickets to the Bone Town bus with like the whitest of knuckles. And I thought that was really nice. But my one problem with Don't Say No okay, is that every single conflict is solved so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like they had a monster of the week for like psychological issues.
Like,
I'm just like, we can't. That's not how this works.
no, I genuinely thought, like, you know, this the whole like being blackmailed and stuff would like be more than just them just rocking up and going, "You'll never see him again."
like even like him having an abusive, insane mother was solved in like a single episode.
It's like,
and then it's like I don't think that you can solve his family alienation and like in this short amount of time. Like, because, and they really made it seem like his alienation with his like father and his father's new wife was somehow his fault.
Yeah.
When this
just because he didn't
like,
want to spend time at home.
Yeah, because he felt, you know, like, okay, so in Don't Say No, right, you find out that like he has like a really bad relation, for anyone who hasn't seen it and doesn't really care about it or just here to hang out. You find out that Fiat has, like, you know from the beginning that Fiat has like the shittiest relationship with his dad and like thinks that his dad doesn't like him, which is why he spent all of his time at Leo's house growing up, because Leo's parents actually acted like they gave a shit about him and like treated him like a son and blah blah blah. And like his dad was always just like really standoffish to him.
His dad genuinely seems really unlikable as well.
Yeah, like his dad genuinely seemed like he did not like him and like preferred his, you know, half sister that he had with like his
the
new
things
wife.
He said to him about those photos, like,
yeah, we're fucking like. Yeah, Leo's mom was the best part of the show. Leo's mom was like, I want to collect you. Like, she was,
and
okay.
she was like, "You're definitely getting married to him," and I know.
Yeah, like, and I've already planned your wedding. We don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm gonna take care of you forever. You're my son. But anyway, like, so the dad just like, okay, listen, this is just a little PSA to some parents out there. If like someone's taking revenge porn photos of your kid, don't get mad at your kid.
Don't slut shame them.
Don't slut shame your child. Maybe say, oh shit, I can't believe this happened to you. You've been a victim of a fucking terrible crime.
Maybe if I didn't push him away, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, maybe if I wasn't like from his childhood, let him think I hated him. So I'm like sitting through, I'm like, and they really just like played off like 20 years of trauma in like an episode where it's like, well, I guess we don't hate each other anymore. And I'm like, I don't think this is how this would play out. Like, listen, I'm no family therapist, but this seems like we're moving a little too quickly here, which was my main criticism of Don't Say No, is that everything was just solved too quickly. You know, like things take a little longer to get solved than 45-minute episodes. But then we got Love in the Air. Okay. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen Love in the Air, if you're like, oh, I can't handle seeing really horny stuff, don't pick up Love in the Air. All right.
I've watched it at least 4 times.
Okay, like listen, Lucy and I can't help ourselves. When I'm just feeling a little down, I turn to exactly 2 shows in this world if I'm feeling down. One is Love in the Air, and one is Cutie Pie the series. And I'm sure we will have a Cutie Pie the series cinematic universe coloring episode at some point. So I'm not going to go into it today because my obsession knows no bounds. However,
we will just not show up.
Yeah, just okay. But Love in the Air. I am kind of obsessed with this show. Now, Lucy, here's the real question with Love in the Air. Which is your favorite couple on Love in the Air? Ooh.
Listen.
Oh, it's like Sophie's Choice.
I love Rain and his stupid little empty head.
He's so dumb. He's such a little dummy. No thoughts, head empty.
Listen, now, their dynamic is just so beautiful to me and like my favorite type of of ship dynamic that I have to choose them.
Now, see, that's funny because my favorite, okay, I need to preface this by saying that is well known that my favorite ship is Simp Idiot. Probably because, as I recently tweeted about, because I recently had a horrible discovery that I am currently in. Yeah, I am currently in a Simp Idiot marriage. I'm not the simp. Let's just put it that way. I'm really just realizing things about myself. You know, we all have to come to these honest realizations every once in a while. However, I was actually truly the whole thing only 4 times. Okay, Nicole, listen to me here. Listen really closely. This is going to be here for as long as YouTube exists. We don't need to really put ourselves on blast. So yes, 4 times.
I said at least.
At least. Listen, that's all we're admitting to is 4 times. All right. But I will tell you, it's on IQIYI, and IQIYI has very generous download. And it may or may not be always downloaded on my tablet for if I have no internet, but the vibe strikes me. But I really thought that, like, I really love Sky Pie. And I think it's because, like, while I do enjoy the Idiot Simp, I do, because it's delicious. I thought that they really brought, like, a real, well, Sky, you know, which one is he? Fort? Which one is he? Fort? Whatever the act, which one of the, I listen, I'm being stupid right now, but whichever one of the actors played Sky brought this very accurate, like, portrayal, like very honest and like, Pete, thank you. He really brought a real humanity to a character that could have easily gone so badly. Like, it could have been, like, by an actor who wasn't as proficient as playing him, it could have come off as almost callous, right? Because he's mean. Like, he's a mean guy. But, like, the more you find out about him, you're like, no, he's just, like, abused. Like, he's just a sad, abused character. And then, you know, the Sky, like, the Pie character, it's like brought the level of understanding that someone in his position shouldn't have had. So it was just really nice to watch. So it was like, it added this, like, serious note to, like, one half of the show, very goofy and idiot. And then, oh no, racing, kidnapping. Ooh. But then, like, the other half is like this, you know, almost pensive story of someone realizing you know, that something horrible happened to someone they love. And it's really nice. Yeah. And then we had the totally goofy special where it was just them fucking around, which, you know, we enjoy just them fucking around. And then they were like, you know, we're going to follow this up with Wedding Plan. And instead of, we're just going to make it all jokes. All right?
There's like enough seriousness.
We made it a little too, we went a little too real and serious last time. So we're going to have a little fun and just have a very stressed out wedding planner being shamelessly flirted at by the definitely homosexual groom. And then we
only booked him as the wedding planner because
he wanted to bang him. Unbelievable. Yeah. Just, you know, you gotta love the audacity, right? He sees him at his colleague or ex-schoolmate. I don't remember what their actual relationship is with Pie. He sees them stuffing his face at the buffet. I'm sure he was just testing.
Secretly as well. He was trying to be secret about it.
Yeah. just secretly stuff in his face. He was testing them for poison, okay? It was part of his job. All right? We can grant him a little grace here. Just stuff in his face, having a grand old time. And then he was like, that's the man I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Which you know, we love that for him. After a boyfriend that tried to like make him lose weight and stuff.
Yeah. Don't make, like, listen. Gross. Get out of here with that nonsense. But, you know, and I think I really appreciated that because I'm pretty sure that's how my husband fell in love with me too. That's actually a lie. We met when we were both in a musical. May discovered Zoloft. Possibly. It's possible. But no, Wedding Plan, like, there's something nice about it. Like, it's like a nice, just vibey show. You know?
And it's fun to watch as well. Like, it's not.
You don't get stressed watching it. Namnua gets stressed watching it, being in
but it's like a goofy stress, not like
he's so stressed. My poor man. He just but wants to plan a beautiful wedding. He's such a good wedding planner. And not only does he plan weddings, he plans like proposals. He's efficient. He's good at running an orchard for some reason. Like, he's got it all. Lucy, yours is looking beautiful.
I was like, what color flowers should I go with? And then I went, oh my God, I know what I should do.
It's like, I like the autumnal vibes going over on your side. Is anyone else in chat coloring with us? I hope so. I actually, on our Discord, on the Hallyu Hagnum Discord, I made a new channel called The Coloring and Conversation, where if you do come color, you can go post your finished coloring page for everyone to ooh and ah over. So that's a little fun community building situation. But yeah, what do people in chat think about Wedding Plan? Like, where does it lie on the tier list?
What do you think you'll think of it?
If you haven't watched it, like, what are we making you think that you'll think of it? I think a tier list is sort of better than a like numbered list for me. So it's like I would put like Love in the Air S tier. Okay. Yeah. Love in the Air is S tier. I would put Don't Say No and Wedding Plan in like A tier.
Yeah.
And then Tharntype season 1 would be like C+.
Yeah.
Because it's enjoyable, but it's bad. And then like season 2 would be like C tier. And then Love by Chance would be a D tier. However, I do still enjoy it. Okay. Mostly for Saint. Because he's really bringing it.
Saint. Yeah.
And then Love by Chance season 2. That's F tier. That's get out of here. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that nonsense.
With that nonsense.
We don't need to see it.
I just want, if you can hear the lovely ceramic clinking of where my pencils are stood, it's an absolutely epically tall mug that is a Tigger Christmas one.
Ooh.
From a long time ago. But now just stores my pencils lovely. I'll just like bring it in shots.
I keep mine in a 17 light stick box. One half of it. The other half holds photo cards. Because, of course, it does. I want like a nice dark orange for some of these leaves. I've been inspired by your autumnal vibe. So I got light orange for these little dudes. And then I've got, what's this orange called? Orange Circuit. for like these little mapley leaf things that are hidden about. As I go through it, I keep noticing like ones that I've forgotten to color, and I'm like, dang it, I gotta go back and color you. Yeah, I feel like you listen, Nicole. You should try Don't Say No Again. I think it's like really easy to watch these days. I'm pretty sure it's on IQIYI and Viki at the moment.
Yeah, it's on Viki for sure.
Yeah. Because when I watched it, Line TV app still existed.
Oh God.
Which I both love and hated the Line TV app. I loved the Line TV app because like it had shows that I wanted to watch on it, but I hated it because there was no way to like pay to not have ads. I would have just rather just given them $5 a month and not had to watch lactosoy ads. You know what I mean? But alas.
I mean, we get plenty of ads as it is with those little IBL.
Exactly. Like we don't need more ads. What are you? Or is that the same color I did?
Also, if you've not watched Wedding Plan already, if you don't like McDonald's already, you'll probably come away liking it just subconsciously.
Like I'm just happy that I like literally can't eat at McDonald's.
Yes.
They were working their heart out to make McDonald's seem like a cool romantic place to like you could find your true love at the McDonald's.
Oh my God, when he's doing the scan at the
Jesus. The show literally starts in a McDonald's. All right. And it's like, oh, I love watching people while I'm eating at the McDonald's. And, oh, this guy's my ultimate dude. And it's like, oh, dang, he's there with his partner. But was he?
Also, all his work colleagues are so funny. His boss is really cool, but also like a hard driver. But I feel like you have to be in that sort of job.
Yeah.
But the other colleagues, they're just completely like, just spend most of their time gossiping.
Like, the thing is, it's like, I feel like if you're not like on, like with a client or like on the, you know, the actual job site, you would spend a lot of time gossiping in a job like that. Right? Because like most of, you know, like, because otherwise you're just like calling vendors and stuff. Like, I feel like if I worked in that environment, like God forbid, like I would 100% be getting the tea on everyone's life. Like I would, listen, imagine all the tea you could share about.
Imagine what you've seen as a wedding planner.
No, listen, I'm like, okay, I work as a wedding photographer off and on, and the shit I have seen. Lucy. Okay, I'm going to tell you. This is the same story. Every time something goes wrong at a wedding I'm at, I tell this same true story because every time I say it, it suddenly makes everything going wrong at whatever wedding I'm at seem like, you know what? Not that bad. I was at this wedding. The couple was so sweet. The wedding was really nice. I got to tell you, like, they had like a board game. They weren't like into dancing, so they had like a board game reception. So, which is like great, right? So they had like each table had like different board games, and you could like go play, you know, like Jenga or Tetris or Monopoly or whatever, which I thought was like really fun. That's neither here nor there for like this story. So I get there the morning of, like, and I'm going to like meet the bride to like, you know, shoot like the getting ready photos and stuff. And the bride takes me aside. I can't, like, even to this day, I can't believe what I'm going to tell you. And she goes, I need to tell you something really, really important. And I was like, oh, like, what is it? And she goes, so my mother might be very upset today and might be acting like, you know, awful today because my father yesterday at the rehearsal dinner gave her divorce papers.
the famous place to give divorce papers.
And I was like, excuse me? Like,
unless it was, of course, backed by the person whose wedding it is. But yeah.
Yeah, like, but clearly the daughter had not been expecting this. Neither had the mother. And I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there like, your father did what? He served your mother divorce papers at your rehearsal dinner? And she was like, yeah, so like just things are a bit of a mess. And I was just like, what? Like, I was so taken aback that someone would do that. Like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, let me think this through. I'm like, you hate your wife. Sure. All right, whatever. But do you also hate your daughter? Like, you couldn't wait until like the reception's winding down and everyone's gone to like be like the day before her oh my god. So anyway, as soon as I tell that story at other weddings, suddenly like the tablecloths being the wrong color really doesn't seem that bad at all. I keep finding like these little leaves that I forgot to color in. But goddamn, it's just. But anyway, the thing that goes wrong at the wedding on here is that the bride never shows up. But you know what? It's for the best because she was a lesbian and ran away with her lover. But you know, it was so funny because I was sort of laughing because it's like the concept of like a gay man and a lesbian getting into a fake marriage so their parents get off their back is like
tale as old as time.
The lavender marriage is, you know, like a time-honored tradition, right? Where it's like, yeah, like, and then we both do our own thing, but nobody pays us any attention. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like,
except his mom still wanted them to live there.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I feel like that was revenge for like how stressed he made him the whole show. Where it was like, now is your turn to get stressed when your mom's suddenly like, oh, by the way, you're gonna move in with me after you get married. And he's like, I'm gonna do what now?
He's like, it makes sense. I've planned the nursery and everything.
And he's like, I'm doing, what am I doing? Excuse me? I don't recall agreeing to do that. Uh-oh. When your best laid plans run amok. Jazzberry jam. Is that going to give me a nice? Yes. Gotta give him some red ears, little red nose, because I always like to make them look kind of cute with the little red nose and the little red chin. Boop, boop, boop. I am so tired, Lucy. I was partying too late for a 36-year-old woman last night. Let me tell you. Because I was at Eric. Well, I did have a great time. I was at an Eric Nom concert last night, and it was my man's can pull off a concert, and it was actually kind of, you know, he didn't have any of his dancers due to visa issues, so they couldn't get into Canada. So he was putting on a dance show all by himself. He was doing the most. All right, he was killing it. My friend had gotten me tickets, and I gotta tell you this story. My friend, I have an incredible friend. No, Nicole, no. No. That's awful. That's sad. That's Oh, I'm telling you, weddings, they're like lightning rods for deranged shit.
They really are.
And I tell you, like, so I mostly do weddings in the Atlantic Canada and the Maritimes, and I love the couples that I've done weddings for. Like, I don't think I've had a couple that's been awful. And I think it's mostly because, like, when they meet me, it's either like we vibe and it's going to be great,
Yeah.
or it's
Or
like, or we don't, and then we don't, you know, do each other's weddings. But like, when I tell you, in the Maritimes in Canada, so that's like Atlantic Canada, which is like one of the poorer parts of Canada, there are people who apparently have never attended a wedding or seen a wedding on any sort of television and have no concept of what you're supposed to wear to a wedding. And it's like, we show up to this, you know, and they show up to this formal church wedding in like jeans and a t-shirt. And I'm like, my dude, what are we doing? Like, you didn't have some dress slacks? You couldn't go to Mark's Work Warehouse? You know, come on. You don't own a button up? What are we doing? What are we doing here, my guy? And every wedding, it's like there's never been one wedding that didn't have someone who was just like, clearly had never attended a formal event in their life. It's always so confusing. I'm like, it's... And then, okay. And then the other thing that happens at weddings, and this is every single wedding without fail, two other things that happen to every single wedding I've ever shot. Okay? Except for the last wedding I shot with one of these, which was nice. But it's probably because half the people couldn't come because it was during a hurricane, but I digress. One thing that happens is that there's always one person who like doesn't realize that when you attend a wedding, there's an implicit contract that you will get photographed at said wedding and act like I'm about to assault them with my camera. And they're like, oh, I don't want to get your photo taken. I'm like, then don't come to a wedding. All right. And it's always someone like vital to like, it's always like, you know, like one of the dads or something. And I'm like, my guy, you're getting your photo taken. We're not doing this. And the other thing that happens is there's always an uncle who went out that week and bought like a fancy ass camera and suddenly thinks they're more qualified to photograph the wedding than me, the professional, is.
I could not.
I was just like, I just hit my camera. And I was just like, thank you for this incredibly solid advice you're giving me right here about how to frame photos. I'll definitely take it under advisement. I won't take it under advisement. I've never once taken it under advisement. Like, just don't talk to me. Don't talk to me with your $5,000 camera. Oh, Jesus. With its kit lens. Ay, ay, ay. You know, and I wish that we had more of that shit in this show, because I would have been like A+ for realism. Like if in the like the where they're showing, you know, like the Sky Pie wedding, if there was like an uncle harassing him about, you know, like how to arrange the tables, I'd have been like, damn, they got it. 100% accurate to the wedding vendor experience.
The mother-in-laws. Oh my god. The
mother's getting into a literal Lacorn style fist fight. A+. A+. You know, I feel like that was real, you know?
And them trying to like invite everybody that they'd ever seen in their entire lives.
Oh. See, I wouldn't want to be a wedding planner because of that. Like, as a wedding photographer, I just have to show up on the day. Like, I don't have to deal with any of that. Though I have, the things that I've dealt with are sometimes like, and it's always, okay, I'm going to be honest. It's always at the ugliest churches that this happens. Where suddenly, like, the priest has all of these fucking rules about like what you can and can't photograph. And I'm just like sure. I had one that's like, you can't photograph during any of the religious parts. I'm like, any of the religious parts at this church wedding? What, like,
Oh no.
what do you actually mean, sir? Like, I'm gonna need you to be so much more specific. Like, because I don't know if that's actually I'm like, so you don't want me to photograph anything? What are we what are you talking about? But
I didn't have a church wedding. That makes it
I
easy.
didn't either. I got married on my okay. So you're gonna like Natalia's whole life story, because me and weddings have been like a long running series of nonsense. So my husband and I eloped when I was in university. And the reason we got married so young, so we got married when I was 21. And I'm not like advocating for like child marriage at like 21 like I was. But okay, here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing. We lived in Quebec. We still live in Quebec, though we did move back. Tuition in Quebec is so cheap if you're a Quebec resident. Okay. But you can't become a Quebec resident if you're a full-time university student. Right? So there's like a few ways to become, as a Canadian citizen, to become a Quebec resident. So like the first way is to work in Quebec for 3 months, and then you become, and not go to school full time, and then you become a Quebec resident. And then another way is to marry someone who is a Quebec resident.
The cheat code way.
Yeah, so you see where we're going with this. So the other fun part about Quebec is that Quebec has a different civil law system than the rest of Canada, because the rest of Canada their civil law is based on British civil law, and Quebec is based on French civil law. I know it's weird, but like Quebec likes to complicate things. It's fine. We stan a diva. So I don't like the color. So we got what's called the civil union, which was like originally put in place for the gays, but like anyone can get it. And basically it's like easier to get a divorce from. Okay. And it was just cheaper overall to get a civil union. So we got a civil union because it was like less work, and I would still count as a Quebec resident. So I got that sick, cheap tuition, which saved us so much money. When I tell you the amount of money that this saved me in my life was actually crazy. So then we moved to Atlantic Canada. We moved to Halifax, and Matthew tries to put me on his insurance. So, okay, no, sorry. I'm getting too far ahead. So then my mom gets upset that we eloped. Okay, because of course. She's like, your siblings are going to be so disappointed. My siblings couldn't have cared less that we eloped. All right, like this mom was upset. All right, let's just, So mom's like, okay, you have to have like a real wedding. So we're like, fine, we'll have this show wedding for you. And so we go down to Service, New Brunswick, because we got married at my mom's place. She lives in New Brunswick, which is another province in Canada for anyone who's unfamiliar. And we're like, hey, we have this civil union in Quebec. Does it like count as like the same thing as like just being married? And they were like, oh yeah, absolutely. You're totally cool. Like, you don't need to do anything. So we're like, cool. So we have this wedding where, we believed that we were already considered married. So we had absolutely no problems, right? So then we moved to Halifax, and Matthew tries to put me on his insurance. And then they're like, oh, so it's your common law wife. And Matthew's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's just my, like, my wife, not my common law wife. And they're like, no, like a civil union doesn't count as a marriage in the rest of Canada. It only counts as common law. And he's like, what? So then we had to get married a third time. Luckily for this third time, I worked at a yoga studio, and one of the yoga teachers was also a justice of the peace. So she did our wedding in our backyard. So we got married third time, and the third time was legit in the eyes of the Canadian civil code. So like, I guess he like really, really meant it. All right. Like, he definitely wanted to marry me because he married me 3 times. But yeah, that's the Natalia gets married multiple times story.
Meanwhile,
which gets...
I wasn't even gonna get married. Like, you know, people are like, oh yeah, like I dreamt of getting married and stuff. I wasn't ever gonna get married, right?
Oh, same. I didn't care about marriage. I still don't care about marriage. Yeah.
And then like I did, but I.
Oh, Lucy, no. Oh my God, we were going to hear about Lucy's wedding. Oh, Lucy, no. You know, would this be a stream that Lucy and I do if there wasn't some form of technical difficulties? I ask you. Lucy. So, if anyone else has some fun marriage stories, please feel free to stick them in the chat. Yeah. Lucy. Lucy, why? I'm like a little. Here I guess we'll just look at some details. I'm not like the best pencil colorist. I do digital art. I drew this digitally, but I tried to do some funky blending here. Now that Lucy's gone, I feel so... Come on, focus. Whoop. 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 There we go. Lucy, you know, she'll come back. She'll come back to us. You know, I feel like maybe her internet died. I wish. This is. So, we got married. Okay, here we go. We got some hot goss. Oh, Lucy's back.
And back Hello? To the different. Listen, my camera died. I've had to get. It's beautiful.
See, Katie, you and I, similar. All right, Lucy, now that you're back, I figured it was some sort of technological situation. You can tell us your marriage story. Hit us up, Lucy.
It was literally, it wasn't even that much more. It was just literally, like, things were getting planned and everything. And then my mum just went, oh, I thought you'd just elope. Great.
Yeah. Listen, so the show wedding, I desperately tried to get the wedding canceled because the only reason we were doing it was because my mom wanted us to do it, right? And I know that it seems odd as I sit here on camera every week with my face on camera chatting with people, but I don't like people looking at me. Like, I don't being perceived. And so I was like, I don't want to have this wedding. And so I tried everything. To like get mom to quit. I had a Star Wars themed wedding because I thought if I made it stupid enough, Mom would be too embarrassed to like go through with it. But she wasn't. So um so we have this wedding, okay, that I didn't want to have, all right? And then the day after the wedding, and so it's important to note, I have a sister who, like, she sticks up for me all the time and she gets angry on my behalf. This is important to note for the rest of what I'm about to tell you. So I have this wedding. I'm miserable because people stared at me and I had to talk to people all the time. And then I'd been for months, like for like almost a year leading up to this wedding, telling Mom, I don't want to have this wedding. Mom, I don't want to have this wedding. Mom, I don't want to go have this wedding. I'm not enjoying this wedding. I don't want to have it. Blah, 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 blah. Over and over. So the day after, when I'm being forced to once again sit in front of people and open presents, another nightmare of mine. All right.
Oh God, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, awful, the worst. My mom like looks over at me, and it was just her, me, and my sister, and she goes, "Aren't you glad like that you had this wedding?" And I go, not really, no. Like, I really didn't want to have a wedding and spend a bunch of money on this party that I didn't want to have, where everyone stares at me and I had to buy an expensive dress that I'm never going to wear again. No, I'm not happy I had this wedding. And then she looks at me and she had the audacity to say, "Well, why didn't you tell me you didn't want to have a wedding?" My sister looks at her, she goes, "Are you fucking kidding me, Mom?" She was incensed. She was like, she has said nothing but how much she doesn't want to have this wedding for like a year. Are you kidding me? But I still had it, so I guess whatever. I like, if you want to have a wedding, I think that's great, you know, but I would have rather like spent the money on it literally anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just like a honeymoon.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, even.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yeah, well, yeah, we basically were like, if you must, don't get us like a wedding present, but just donate like a tiny bit of money into our honeymoon fund. And we literally we rented a camper van, like a
fun.
VW camper, like a vintage one, and just drove around a bit for a week in the UK. Just stopped at a few random places.
That's fun.
So, listen, I got married in October as well, so the weather was spectacular. No, actually, on the day it was really sunny of my wedding, but obviously for my honeymoon there was quite like changeable things. But I didn't go like on a crazy honeymoon or anything.
We went to Albuquerque, New Mexico for our honeymoon. And I know you're thinking that's a really weird place to go on a honeymoon, but when I tell you, Albuquerque, New Mexico is fucking lit as hell. All right? I recommend Albuquerque, New Mexico as a honeymoon destination. You heard it from me. You heard it from me. All right? New Mexico? That's a place to go. I know you're thinking, why the hell would they go to, like, why would anyone even think of going to Albuquerque, New Mexico? Well, it's because my sister lives there, the one who gets angry on my behalf. So we were actually also visiting my sister. But Albuquerque, New Mexico, I'm telling you, if you can visit there, great city. Great city.
I have never been to the US ever.
I've been to a lot of the US. And I gotta say, Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's a great. It's a great place. It's got some problems, but where doesn't, you know?
The closest I've got is Cuba.
Ooh, I do love Cuba. We're overrated. My dad, when he was alive, he had like friends in Cuba, so we used to go all the time, and I used to be able to go with him. But my mom's an American citizen, and technically she wasn't really allowed to go. Yeah, but I'll say no more. You know, I'll say no more about it. She wasn't allowed to go. We'll keep it at that. But I was a Canadian citizen. So I was allowed to go whenever I wanted.
Cuba's great.
And I was my dad's favorite, so I got to go with him all the time. Cuba's lovely. What was I gonna say? I was doing like
although the heat, oh my god.
See, I'm like into it. I like being hot as versus, but I can't like regulate my temperature either way. So
No.
It doesn't really like. So when it's cold, I'm freezing, and when it's hot, I'm like dying.
Yeah.
But so I'm just always uncomfortable, you know. You know, I know you know, because you and I, we're basically the same person. For anyone who didn't know this, I know it seems odd. Like you're like, oh, there's this British lady and this Canadian lady. Like, no, we're the same. We're one person. We were somehow separated at birth.
I was laughing before actually, like when my camera was the other way around, because like I'm left-handed, yes, like the heathen I am, and I was like, if we crossed over like these frames, it could look like just one person.
Just one person with both hands, drawing with both hands. I'm pretty sure that like our handedness is the only real difference between us. Yay. So Lucy, you watching any other good BLs right now?
Right at this moment, well, not right at this moment.
obviously we're coloring right now and chatting. Yeah.
I am watching You Are Mine, which
you are mine.
Which just
idiot simp.
The idiot simp combo again. Kiseki.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Everyone's got brain damage. Okay.
And obviously Naughty Babe, speaking of brain damage.
Listen. Okay. Guys in chat, tell us what you think about this. I'm thinking next month we do a Cutie Pie Universe coloring stream.
Yes.
So we'll see how busy I get for the rest of the month. I may even make two coloring pages, one for each couple, and you can pick which one you want to color. So, and then we can talk all about my favorite couple that gives me Delulu. Xenu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie, I figured it would. Yeah. I am watching the same ones.
Oh, and obviously we just finished watching Weatherman. Which...
Yeah. Oh, the toxic delight of my personal Weatherman. They're such a bad couple. They're such a bad couple.
They're perfect for each of them, but
they're so
bad.
Oh, they're like, they couldn't be with anyone else but each other, but they're just awful. They're just awful. Need to finish. Yeah, I liked Hidden Agenda. I thought it was really cute. Like, it was just like a really cute, like, easy to watch situation, you know? Like, it was a...
And sometimes we need those between the Tarn times of our lives.
Yeah! The Tarn times of our lives. Yeah, like, sometimes that's what the world needs, you know? Like, obviously, watching Only Friends. Love Only Friends.
Yeah.
My thing about Only Friends is I love how everyone on the show is allergic to ever making a good life choice.
Yeah.
That just appeals to me. Like, every time you're like, oh, someone's about to make a good life choice, they're like, detour, U-turn, no thanks. I'm gonna have to say, no, I'm gonna make a bad life choice instead, because that's just how it's gonna be. And I love that energy. I love that energy for us as a community, you know, because we're here to support their rights and their wrongs. God, I love OnlyFriends. Like the mess.
It is just mess, the show, and we love it.
Oh, I'm a fan. It's such mess. I feel like there's like more, but I can't. Oh God. Okay, there is one more that I'm watching, and I like vaguely regret watching it, but like I'm in it now, and that's Venus in the Sky. I don't. Is anyone else watching this? It is not good, but I can't stop watching it. Like, it has no plot. None. Absolutely none. And yet, I'm just like, every week, I'm like, well, I guess it's time for me to go see if that doctor has convinced that interior designer who's out of work and working at his brother's 7-Eleven to fuck him yet. No? Okay. It's like, do you remember how like dull Checkout was? Where it was like nothing ever happened.
Nothing.
But then like they would be like, oh shit, there's actually nothing happening in this plot, so we have to have them like fuck in the office. Does anyone else remember the show? Am I the only one who watched the entirety of Checkout the series?
No, I do.
Okay. So
obviously.
It's like it was the most boring show ever made, right? Like nothing happened and the plot made no sense. And then I feel like the author, like the not the authors, like the direct, like the showmakers were like, oh shit, like we're losing them. Like we gotta bring him back in. So they'd be like, okay, and then they have sex in a hot tub. Okay, then they on a boat, like on a boat in a hot tub on a boat, and you're like, okay, like we gotta. There needs to be more. Like Venus in the Sky kind of reminds me of that vibe, except that like they're also not having sex. Like okay, when is the plot happening? But I can't. I'm like a week behind, and I'm like, why am I watching this? But listen, you have people smooching. I'm there, you know. Like, I must admit, I do love that IQIYI has decided, like, yeah, we're where all of the BLs are coming. All right, like if it's not GMMTV, it's on IQIYI, and I'm really appreciative of that because I like do a lot of traveling, not like exciting travel. Like I feel like when I say I do a lot of traveling, it sounds like I'm going to fun exotic places, but it's like I travel to my mom's house and take an 18-hour train ride multiple times a year. Why? I don't know. I truly don't know. But like IQIYI's down. Listen, we are not sponsored. We have no sponsors except for our lovely patrons. Thank you, lovely patrons, who I don't even think are here for this coloring show. This coloring show is truly a what's the word I'm looking for here? Labor of we wanted to do it. And so we're bringing you all along with us.
Self-indulgent.
A self-indulgent coloring show. But everyone gets free coloring pages out of it. So, you know what? Everyone wins. Everyone wins. But we're not sponsored, but I'm telling you, I cannot listen. IQIYI, their download capabilities are A+. You can like download. Okay, first off, you can choose like what's the word I'm looking for here? What quality you want to download it as. So it's like you can choose like, 360, 480, 720, whatever, right? So you can choose like, so the lower you get, the more you can put on your device. right? And then it doesn't have like a set time that the downloads disappear after.
It's like, it's yours forever.
Yeah, so it's like if you download it, as long as the show is still on IQIYI, it's like I have yet to, if there is, I have yet to run into the limits of how long you can download something for. Like, I've had Cutie Pie downloaded on there for like 8 months now. It's like you can have it downloaded forever. And when I tell you, like, other things like Vicky, 2 days, it has a limit of 2 days on a download.
Right, it's
what?
dope.
What? That is the dumbest. And then Cocoa, which I do love Cocoa, but it's like, oh, Jesus. Okay. For anyone watching this in posterity and is like, what's with the mangoes? My mother has this habit, and I'm sure other people's mothers do this too, where if you tell her you like a thing, she'll buy a bunch of that thing when you don't ask her to buy the thing, and then it becomes your problem to consume the thing. And so, like a year ago when I was home, my mom asked what my favorite fruit was, and I said mangoes without thinking. But I don't eat mangoes at my mom's house because my mom is severely allergic to mangoes. And my mom went out and bought like 5 mangoes. She was like, they had different types of mangoes at the store. And so she bought like every type of mango that they had. And I was there for like, this was like 3 days before I was leaving. And then mom's like, okay, well, you have to eat all the mangoes because I'm allergic to mangoes. And I'm like, you want me to eat mangoes for every meal? Like, what? And every day she'd be like, oh, what about, are you going to eat those mangoes? And I'm like, Mom, it's too many mangoes. And it became sort of a meme with a few of us and it was at the same time that the Super Junior song Mango came out. And I was like, this feels...
It's haunting you.
This feels personal.
It's a personal attack.
I was like, this feels pointed. But yeah, okay. So Cocoa, you can only download. Okay, this is my warning to people who are like, oh, I love Cocoa. I'm gonna download a lovely K-drama to watch on my next plane ride. All right, I'm about to warn you about Cocoa here. It does have a download function, but you cannot access the downloads if you aren't connected to the internet.
God.
Making the download feature pointless. So I was like, what? What? Why? Why would this be the way you've set this up? My God. So yeah, so in my Asian only download streamers, IQIYI is the best, followed by WeTV, and then I guess technically followed by Vicky because it does work for 2 days. Okay, and then finished with
the downloads work, but will the playback?
The playback does work, but only for 2 days. And then Cocoa, you can download, but you can't use it. You can't play it back if you're not connected to the internet, so boo. And I suppose we have to include YouTube, because YouTube... Yeah. And I think you can actually watch Wedding Plan on YouTube. You know, I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, you can.
It's just not... It's like they cut out the spicy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. You can watch the entirety of the show.
Wait.
And you can download it on... If you have YouTube Premium, you can also download, so... You know. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say which... like... I was laughing so much because I watched Love in the Air on YouTube once, just to see what was cut out.
Mhm.
Not a great deal.
Yeah, like when I tell you, so like we're watching OnlyFriends right now. When I am shooketh with what they're putting on YouTube on OnlyFriends. I was like, are they allowed to do this? Like, I'm pretty sure like we would get kicked off of YouTube if we put stuff on there. Like, but I feel like they must have like an age warning for like people who aren't on premium or whatever. I remember, this is funny. So QTPie used to only be on YouTube. So I had it downloaded on YouTube originally because listen, my obsession with QTPie knows no bounds. And I just remember like one episode, it wasn't even like, I think it was the episode where they first like kiss in the kitchen. And then it ends with them kissing in the kitchen, so then it resumes in like the next episode, right? And I don't know what happened. There was like some sort of like weird technological problem where it was like it age restricted only that video and wouldn't let me download it. But like, I'm a 36-year-old woman. Like, I'm clearly old enough to watch anything I want. Like, so I was like, YouTube, like, why are you age restricting this one quarter of one episode of the show that I've already watched on YouTube? It's like, what are we doing? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm having like, you know, like one of those like where you're really tired but you're like manically amused.
Yeah, they're like insanity.
Yeah, I'm like having one of those because I was out so late last night and I just like haven't fully recovered from going to a concert. And I wasn't even like, okay, so like I went to Eric Nam last night. Great show. If you have the opportunity to go see him, you should go see him post haste because it was an incredible show. But like at first, so when I tell you, okay, so I show up to like line up in the line. Okay, my friend has the tickets, and he and his partner are meeting me and my husband there because he got us all tickets. Like, because I wanted to go see Eric Nam, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna get us tickets to go see Eric Nam because I love you and you're my best friend. And I was like, oh, Nicholas, I love you too. So he's like coming to meet us, and this line, like the venue was at like one corner, and the line stretched all the way down to the next corner, then all the way down like 2 blocks, and then curved again for like 4 blocks. Like,
oh god,
it was the longest line, and it was all general admittance. Okay, so I'm like, shit, we gonna be in the nosebleeds, like whatever. We're gonna have a good time. So we're like waiting in line. I'm like, Nick, you're gonna like lose your mind at this line when you get here because we like showed up earlier. And he shows up and he's like, what the hell? Because he hadn't never heard of Eric Nam before. Okay. And this is what's important to note is that Nick works for the tour company. Like, he works for the company that owns the venue. He's the accountant for like the company that runs all these. They own like a bunch of venues around Montreal, and like, so anyway. And he was like, we had a legit meeting about this concert because it sold so well and none of us were actually expecting it to sell this well. And he was like, anyway, so we show up and I'm like, we're going to be the nosebleeds. And then right when we get at the door, he's like, psych, no, you're not. Here's a wristband. We got a private box. And I was like, what? So, like, when I tell you, we were living the high life at this, like, it was deluxe, okay? They even, like, had, like, a little velvet rope that, like, the security guard, like, unlocked. I was like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? And it was one hell of a show. And despite this, it's like, you think, okay, so she wasn't, like, jumping up and down with the masses. I got a lovely chair to sit in. I got drinks. Like, I'm too old for even that.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh. Like, I woke up this morning, I looked dead.
Like,
was like,
getting excited for that long just does me in. I was sat on a bench.
Yeah, I was like, I was screaming. I was like, so Nick's partner and I, we were like feeling it. Okay, like David and I were feeling it. We were dancing, we were grooving, we were screaming. Because then Nick and my husband Matthew were like, nodding along with the music, like definitely like the husbands that came along with it. And my husband's favorite thing to do when he comes to concerts with me is to find the dads in the audience who got dragged along with their like teenage children who aren't allowed in without like a chaperone. And he's like they're always the most mystified looking people you've ever seen in your life.
Is this a cult?
Yeah, no. For real. And my favorite thing to do is to look at, especially when you're at like, because this, like, Montreal doesn't really get K-pop acts at all. And certainly, I think the security team had no idea what was coming because, like, the shock on some of these faces, like, just like, I don't, like, they could not comprehend. And so apparently, like, the whole, like, I was like, no, Nick, like, you should really talk to your company. This is a little self-serving, I admit. And tell them to, like, get more, like, to reach out and try to, like, get more K-pop acts. Because it will be profitable because they have, like, this was, like, a mid-sized venue, but they have, like, larger venues and stuff. And I was like, not only would you get, because, like, it's like a really quick bus ride from New York to Montreal. And like for the people who can't get tickets in New York, like just a bus ride to Montreal, that's easy. And also you've got everyone in the east coast of Canada. There's a train that goes all the way to Montreal. So it's like it would be actually very smart to use Montreal as a concert hub. And it's like, and because they always hit Toronto, which I get, but it's like big acts do come to Montreal. Like Metallica comes to Montreal all the time.
Yeah.
Pink's playing Montreal soon. Like Mariah Carey's coming to Montreal for some reason that I don't fully comprehend it. I don't really get it, but it's whatever. It is what it is. So I don't see why, like, they wouldn't be able to attract, these K-pop acts and,
I just think they grossly underestimate how popular they are in certain places, because it happens in the UK all the time too. Like, we're lucky if we get anywhere anyway, but like we're lucky if we get outside London, full stop. And I'm just like, places, I've been to K-pop concerts in Manchester as well, and have they always been absolutely sold out to the brim?
Yeah.
Yes, they have. Eric Nam comes to Manchester.
Yeah.
Like,
and when I tell you, it's like, so Eric Nam doesn't have a light stick, but I saw every single light stick you could possibly imagine in that audience. And then my friend Nick was like, what were those like lanterns that people had? And I was like, oh, Nick. I'm like, let me tell you about K-pop culture. I was like, listen, if you need like any information for like your work to like, to tell them, like, I am willing to, tell you what help you with any information you need to convince people that this is a profitable thing. This is very self-service. I would like to go to like literally any. I don't even care if I like the group that much. I'll go.
It's just a fun experience, isn't it?
But it's like, I'll go so that it will convince groups that I am a bigger fan of that it's profitable to come, and then I get to go.
Oh, DPR came to Manchester as well.
Miyagi came to Montreal, and I really wanted to go, but I was sick, so I couldn't go. I was really bummed. I know.
I would have died.
I know. And I think the Rose came to Montreal at one point,
but they came to Manchester as well the tour before last.
But I wasn't in town, and I was like, this is getting mean. All right,
this feels like a personal attack.
This feels like I'm being personally targeted by just not getting to go to things that I would like to go to, and so I was just very happy that Eric Nam was in town, and that I got these sick ass box seats because, like, let me tell you, I didn't have to get all sweaty with people. There was only the 4 of us in there. We had drinks. It was nice. We had a little hook for our coats. Oh, it was lovely. I got to sit down. It was the old lady deluxe, let me tell you. Let me tell you. And he puts on one fucking hell of a show. Let me tell you. He was working the room like you wouldn't believe.
I love him. He's a good egg.
Oh, he is a good egg. Well, Lucy, it's been 2 hours. Let me see. Hold. Turn your piece. Let me see the work you've done. Lovely. Lovely. Now, if anyone else did color this, you should. I added a thing on our Discord. You should join our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, you can. It's like Discord makes it kind of hard because they don't give you just like a permanent link you can use, which is kind of a bum out. But you can, like, if you're on Twitter, you can message at HowYouHagdom, and you can, and we will hook you up.
Yeah.
We will hook you up with this.
Have we got a drama or BL channel on there? We need one.
Do we? You know what? That's like a really good question. We don't, but we can definitely make one.
And if you listen to K-pop, I post all of the things.
Yeah. So we made a coloring conversation, so you can post your beautiful artworks if you color it at any time. If you're watching this a year from when we streamed it, you can still put your beautiful artwork up there, and we'll be like, oh damn. And if you want to download it, the link is down below in the description. You can color it to your heart's content. And I assure you that even though we will be continuing with this BL stuff, I will continue to make them PG friendly. So if you have like a kid who just likes coloring, they can also color. I won't be putting the sexy stuff. It'll just be, this is like as spicy as it'll get. All right. This is
I feel the need to show this little guy that I made. Me and my niece made one each, a little rock creature, right? But for the come on, I had to do.
Oh my god, a little butt. I love it.
He's one of the many random things that sits on my desk.
Now I feel compelled. Oh, here, I have a random thing next to my desk. I didn't make this, but it was given to me. It's a Jackson Wang pillow. Now, the thing about this Jackson Wang pillow, and it's important to note that I have very large bazongas. It is the perfect size to when you're lying on your side to stick your boob on top of. So it's my Jackson Wang boob pillow. And you know what? I truly believe that Jackson Wang would approve.
Kirby eating a cat.
All right, guys, we're gonna call it. So Discord, hit us up on Twitter at HowYouHagdom, and we will include you. We'll send you an invite. And we'll be back next month with we're gonna do some cutie pie stuff. So
yay!
Bye. Thank you for coming. Tell your friends. Bye.